Hey everybody, this is Eric with Arcade Hell, and I'm ready to break! This is Crimzon Clover World EXplosion for the Nintendo Switch, and I have a clear in Novice Original, and this is going to be my commentary for it. So let's start off with, in the replays, you can see that I started this game, this is my first run ever. I got to the stage 4 boss in my clear, or in my first credit. I started playing April 3rd, and I was able to get the clear on April 9th. And going into my stats, you'll see that I'm at about 9.5 hours. I've played this a little bit with some friends on the side, but I don't know, let's say that I got the clear in like 8 to 9 hours. This is, I don't know, my 6th or so novice mode clear, so things were starting to speed up. This is being recorded June 3rd, so it's been a couple of months since the clear. And just going through my backlog, you know, I've said this in other videos. Anyway, let's jump into this replay. So, I love this game. Super visceral. Graphics are sweet. I don't know, is this like PlayStation-esque or GameCube-esque graphics? Either way, I really like the style. This game, just to go over the mechanics briefly, has a shot, a lock-on, which also is a focus movement system, and a bomb slash hyper slash, which is called a break in this mechanism, and then a double hyper or double break mechanism. And basically you just want to always be holding shot, and then you can pulse the lock on for enhancing your damage. But when you get multi-kills with the lock on, it also increases this green multiplier number that you'll see below the break bar, that break where it says break standby. And that in combination with the break rate multiplies the base score for every enemy that you kill. So it's a double multiplier system. And then when you break, it doubles your break rate, I want to say. Just everything gets increased. All the scoring gets increased, your damage gets increased, double break, doubly so. Your shot gets giant as fuck, and you just destroy everything. And stars fly off, and it's beautiful. I fucking love the way this game plays. Also, the novice mode, I thought was a terrific introduction to the genre. If you're looking for a game to get into shmups with, definitely consider this one. The novice is not a gimme. Like I said, it took me about 10 hours, and I have how many other novice game clears than this? If you're new to the genre, I don't know, maybe it would take you 15, 20, 30 hours? Hell if I know. You tell me. How long did it take you to get your first novice mode clear in Crimzon Clover? This game is also really solid in that, like, it's definitely one of the best indie shmups ever. It just does everything right. Like, those turrets earlier actually have proper sealing on them, where if you're in close proximity, they don't shoot at you. Boss designs are great, bullet patterns are great, bullets stick out from the backgrounds. And then it has this system where when you defeat bosses, you can choose a sort of like power-up. So you can get stars, which increase your rank in this game, aka increasing the difficulty. You can get 1-ups, so you can get a crap ton of 1-ups in this game. You get a 1-up for every boss clear. And then you can get, you can do a bunch of stuff with your break bar, which, let me go into that a bit more. So, the way the brake bar works is when the green bar is over the bomb line, you have enough to use a bomb. When it fills up, you can use a brake. And there's a bottom bar as well that gets full whenever you use the lock-on system and get kills. And then when you brake, you can't use bombs. So if you use the brake again, then it actually just double extends the time that you're in it. All the bullets come at you faster too. The game just becomes a lot more intense. So you just kind of like, you just double down on the action while also doubling down on your destructive power. And you'll probably see me whiff and like die a couple of times in break, but it is sick. So here you can see, whenever you use the bomb, it'll increase the brake bar, and then you can use that reset power up to reset where the bomb line is. There was also a power up or recover drop as well, and that just fills up your brake bar. I want to say typically I went for lives and stars because stars increased the rank. I think it's sweet to just make the game more intense, and then also increases my score and gives me more extends because you get lives with stars collected as seen in the top right. All right, and here we are at the stage 2 boss. And he's a good one. Kind of climbing down this cavern, or I almost imagine we're like going down a volcano or something. He has destructible legs you can blast off. You just don't want to touch his feet. You don't want him to stomp on your ship. And then he'll fly up in the air and come down. And you can get kind of up close to him with the lock and allow the circle to go over his breakable leg parts to take him out. I think I just saved myself there with the shield from the break. Basically, it gives you like a period of iframes, and it puts like this blue shield around your ship, so you know when it's happening. It's that E pickup that gives you more energy for your brake bar. So stage 2 done, no lives lost thus far, sitting at a 5 stock. Let me tell you, this one's a close one too with the TLB, but third stage here is where it kind of picks up. You're in the cavern now, you have all these spiders and mushrooms that are going to be shooting at you. In my opinion, this is one of the more memorable stages of the... This is just a really memorable stage. I mean, fighting like mushrooms and spiders. This game is no Mushihime-sama. It's not... It ain't cute if you ask me. Like, it's just visceral and badass. And then you have these flowers that are shooting at you too. But it really rings sci-fi to me. You also increase your break rate and the energy that you get from getting up close to enemies while you shooting them. So you'll see me do that a good bit to just increase how much I can use break. And one thing that I love about the design of this game is that they really wanted you to just use break mode as much as possible. So there's no reason to really hold on to it. Okay, yes, there are strategic reasons to hold on to it so that you can get the shield at opportunistic times and what have you, and you don't want to use it whenever maybe you think the enemies will be too dangerous because it increases their aggression, but you have so much firepower. I'd almost say that you don't need to worry about that too much. You can see things were getting a little bit scary there. I decided to bomb. And I'm playing the fast ship, and in this game, the fast ship is so freaking fast. You can accidentally dodge into enemy fire, especially in novice mode. Like, you see how slowly it's going. And definitely when I was playing this game and, you know, learning to get the clear, I had my moments where I would just dodge into enemy fire. There's lots of scoring opportunities here too, because you want to go for the multi-kill with the lock-on to increase that X 3.6, 4.8 number. I think it maxes out at 11.2 outside of break mode. And look at these guys. These guys totally look like Mushihime-sama dragonflies. So yeah, this game is playing a little homage to Mushihime-sama, and that's awesome, because what a epic, legendary game. More games need a cavern level. I like breaking off the guns on this guy. Just 'cause screw him. But when the second one comes on, you can definitely get them overlapping fire on you and get destroyed. So once you see the second one come on, if you don't destroy the first one very quickly, just activate break or get underneath the second one before he crossfires you. I want to say this first phase of the boss is a static pattern. I thought that was a little unfortunate because it becomes predictable and it's not that hard to dodge in this mode, at least. This shot pattern might be determined by your positioning, but it's relatively static. And then he goes into this mode where he's going to send you basically around the world. But if you have a break, you can use that to reset and get back underneath him. You just want to pulse lock to get some damage on him while you're going around. And destroy the two little, or destroy those little things that kind of rotate around his body. And then we go into his next phase. I love this boss. Kind of whirly-bird thing. It reminds me of those weird enemies in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Those things gave me nightmares as a kid. Just creepy. All the more satisfying to fuck them up in Crimzon Clover. Let's go. So, third stage down, no lives lost, and I'm sitting at 7 lives? It's ridiculous. And then another thing is that in this game, if you get to the TLB and you don't have any lives, they'll just give you a life. Like, just to make it interesting. And that's awesome. Whew. Okay, I didn't think I was going to make it out of there. I like to kill those guys with the lock-on shot to just increase my multiplier. This is another game where I mean, who knows if my score is that good, but I'm really drawn to the scoring system. I like maximizing that X 5.6, the X multiplier, I'll call it. And getting right up next to things to increase my break rate and my break gauge. It's just so violent. Just makes me want to break. Just break everything. In stage 5, there's these, you'll see them, but there's this stuff where like the game talks to you and it's like, Hell Marine, are you here to save the world or just to break? And it always just makes me go like, I'm here to fucking break, dude. I'm here to destroy everything. That is my sole goal in playing this game, is to watch it all blow up into little stars. It's a thing of beauty. This boss will totally snipe you down with those stupid blue lasers if you're not careful. Here, you'll see it. It like flashes for just a moment. That right there, that shit will absolutely catch you the first time you play. This level's so sweet too, like up in the clouds. And then I've heard the Electric Underground call this the cat's eye. But this is a really fun pattern to be surrounded like this and then have to use your lock-on to break through it. And this ship is so fast that, again, I could dodge into enemy shots pretty easily. My advice with these guys is you want to just take them out. You want to deal pretty equal damage so that you can take out those last two like very quickly, because dodging the single one can get super tricky because he'll basically push you into a corner and then rotate the laser into you. Kind of a BS death there, but I still have 6 lives, so I definitely could have avoided it though with a bomb or a break. This part's a little tricky too with the sea urchins that come in. You just want to, you'll get to a point where you memorize this part of the level, and you want to hold a lock and let them come in and let go of it to kill them. My timing in this run wasn't particularly great, but I know that they come up from behind me, so I knew to just, you know, kind of move up the screen and dodge them. All this part, once you play it enough times, is honestly pretty easy. There's only a couple of tricky parts per level, I would say. Stage 3 was pretty tricky the first time I played it, but actually, I have some history with this game. This was one of the first shmups I ever played. because Total Biscuit, aka Total Halibut, aka the Cynical Brit, RIP, loved that YouTuber and reviewer, and he reviewed this game when it first came out. I don't know, maybe it was like 2010 or something, and a buddy of mine bought it, just thought it looked cool. He liked action games. I didn't. I only really played FPS. This boss is tricky, by the way, so dying there, yeah, go figure. Those stupid crisscrossing patterns are a little tricky. And then he has this part where he brings in these different guns. I just love to break them off. I don't know what the best strategy is here, but it's just fun to just cycle through and to be like, bitch, you can't even fire at me because I'm just breaking off your guns back and forth. Like, good luck. And you get a bullet cancel every time, so it's beautiful. But yeah, buddy of mine bought this game. I only played FPS games. He showed me this. We just quarter-fed our way through it. I don't know that it had a novice mode when we first played. But we probably used like 20 quarters each to get through it. It was hard as hell. And look at me now, back playing shmups, clearing the novice mode. Definitely will clear the arcade one in this. I mean, that's an aspiration of mine, is to clear the arcade mode of this. But anyway, that was stage 4, and yeah, 6 extends still. And this stage 5 is sweet. I don't know why, it kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy VII. I never played Final Fantasy VII. I watched a friend play it as a kid. But this like dark, gritty sci-fi city overrun with military vehicles reminds me of Final Fantasy VII. And I really like this. This level has all these turret towers that shoot area denial lasers at you, like that one. And so you gotta kind of learn to misdirect them. And then you can kind of get up there close to them to increase your break rate and so on. But they're a little dangerous, actually. You have to know their position. They also shoot at you from off screen, so it's good to know their position. And this level gets incredibly dense with the bullet patterns, so definitely a tricky one. Luckily, when you kill those guys, you cancel all their bullets. And then these guys here, you can just sit under them and shoot their missiles off. You just have to be really careful about holding lock while you're moving left and right underneath those missiles, because with them coming straight down, you might move your ship into the side of one and kill yourself. This is the talking part. Maybe unstoppable destruction of this world. Weather still, do not give up until the end. Hell Marine. Honestly, the poems, they don't really make sense to me. Is this a translation issue, or am I dumb and poetry goes over my head? You tell me. But I like the nature of the gist of them is like, aren't you just a force of destruction in these shmups? I think it's some commentary on shmupping in general. And yes, I am just a force of destruction in shmups. That is the point. Typically against an evil agent, you know? Someone who wants to rule the world with power. I'm here to fuck them up and return it to the good side. Where they're not going to have guys like me driving war machines in charge. You know, that's my goal, is not to be in charge. My goal is to just enforce peace. Break. This mid-boss is sweet. He's also given me a good amount of problems. Not this pattern here. That was pretty easy. Just get up nice and close to put out some damage. But this part right here, he shoots those missiles down again. You gotta be careful. And then he starts putting down those blue shots. It gets tricky in there. But you know what? You can actually just go off to the side and just use your lock to take him out. But yo, I'm here to break shit. I'm not getting off to the side. I'm staying right underneath him. Max risk, max damage. Just engage, break. Cancel his bullets out and pulverize him. And then the stage 3 boss is back to play. And this part's awesome because he shoots you from behind. You don't get that much in shmups. So you have to use your lock on to kill him. And this, you can actually time this boss out by mistake if you're not just constantly spamming lock. I'd say the trick here is really just pay attention to the back. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry for this amateur hour. Resuming. Okay. So you really just want to pay attention to the back and spam lock. Don't run into those guys. Hold shot down. And by those guys, I mean the parachuting tanks. And as you can see, I was able to kill him. Most of the time I've been able to kill him. It's only been a couple of times that he times out. And it's embarrassing. Because he came back to get me, and I just want to shove it in his face that I'm fucking done with him, you know? Like, dude, you had your chance, and you died. Oh, what a sad death. Why didn't I break? Backed into the corner. But yeah, this stage is tricky. That's the sort of shit that it does to you. Like, break, bam, yes, and then spam shot. The TLB is actually really difficult, so you need all your lives. And what another shameful death. Those guys with the shields, you can't take them out. You have to respect them. It's another example of break, Eric. Break! What are you doing? You get a lot of resources in this game. Lives, you get the least of those, so you really want to use the break and not your lives. So these are mistakes to avoid when you're going for your novice clear of, or your any clear of Crimzon Clover. I'm a novice, but I promise you that I think this is good advice. Use breaks, don't die. These guys, you gotta focus on just taking them out as quickly as possible because they can overwhelm you. And this is another enemy where, like, while focusing on where they are on the screen to shoot them, that I would just dodge my ship into the side of a bullet because it's just such a flippin' fast ship. But that said, I love fast ships. That's just what I choose to play. They're really fun for me. So I don't choose wide shot, slow moving ships. They're fun too, but back into a corner. Engage the break. And killed him right before he started that other pattern. This pattern right here is pretty fun because he shoots you the crisscrossing at you, and then he shoots a narrowing area denial shot. And I don't know how I just died there. Was that the crisscross? Did I run into him? I don't usually die there, I promise. I don't usually die there. That's embarrassing. And then this part, just let go of focus when you go underneath him. On Novice mode, this part's easy. I've heard that in arcade mode, that every time he bounces off the ground, he also shoots at you. That's terrifying. Just take your time, use the lock, don't get underneath him. I've let him kill me because I was trying to maximize damage from underneath him. It's dumb. Because he'll change up his drop rate and he'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna come up real high and let you get underneath me and shoot me. Nah, and then he'll come down on you and smash you. And then here we go, we got the TLB. This is a two-phase TLB. You get him by just 1cc'ing the game. So this takes you to stage EX. And I got a question for my viewers. Do you consider it a clear whenever you beat all the normal stages of the game? You know, everything outside of stage EX, and then you die? I've heard that in games like Dodonpachi Daifukatsu, gosh, this is an awesome pattern. It's a pretty tricky one. I definitely had to practice the TLB a couple of times. What a shame. I mean, not really. It's a tricky pattern. It's not a shame that I died, but... And then here's TLB phase 2. So, question is, I've heard that in like Dodonpachi Daifukatsu, if you trigger the TLB or some hidden boss and you don't defeat him, you can't call that a 1cc. You want a 1cc, you gotta trigger the end screen with your credit. And I think there's a lot of merit to that. But in Crimzon Clover, I don't think you can trigger the end screen with a 1cc and not trigger the extra stage. So, is it possible to 1cc the game with 5 stage clear? Sorry, it's a little late. I don't know if I'm fully coherent. This pattern is hard as hell too. You want to basically just kind of move up and then get back down to the bottom of the screen. Like you kind of move up, swirl around the pattern, and then come back down to the bottom to give yourself space and time. That's my best experience. But anyway, there you saw it. A TLB 1cc of Crimzon Clover World EXplosion on the Nintendo Switch. And just for reference, I played that with the arcade pad, the 8-bit Do arcade stick. I say this every video that I play with it. I love this thing. And I got a score of 47 billion. Let me know in the comments if you have your own 1cc of this and you've beaten that score. If you have, then it's on. I'll come back and I'll try to beat you. I don't know that I can do it, but I'll try. Anyway, thank you for watching. And, oh, excuse me, it looks like my final score was 344 billion. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you're all doing great, and I think this is the end of my backlog. So here on out, I'll be hoping to record videos a lot more immediately after I get the clear. And I'm still going for my black label, my DDP DFK black label novice clear. And I'm also going to be going for an arcade level clear concurrently with that. So, take care all. Peace.